Well, they did it. They've actually done it. They've gone 3 for 3 on the Dragon trilogy. First of all, welcome to 2019. I hope you guys had an amazing 2018 and that this year is even better. I have some really exciting stuff planned for both this channel and my other channel, Loverboy Media, which you should totally subscribe to if you haven't already. So yeah, stay tuned this year for what is hopefully some very, very exciting stuff. So, How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World is a really, really long title. I don't know why they didn't just call it How to Train Your Dragon 3. Like, why all of a sudden now do we need a subtitle on it? It just doesn't, I don't understand. The Hidden World is brought to us by Dreamworks Animation from writer-director Dan DeBlah, who co-directed the first film and then took the reins solo on the second film in 2014. As this is a sequel, I really want to give very little away about the plot, as I went in totally blind, so all I will say is that the Dragon Viking colony of Berk, now under the command of Chief Hiccup, is under threat once again, which will lead to a whole lot of action and adventure as our heroes are tracked through uncharted territory by a set of dangerous world-conquering warlords and a legendary dragon hunter by the name of Grimmel. Now, I am a huge fan of this series. I absolutely love it. I think at a time where Dreamworks was struggling to get things to stick, the first Dragon movie was a spark of genius that I'm so glad caught on. It took a lot of elements we've seen in other train scary animal to become best friend type stories, and Dreamworks threw everything they had at that story to make something special, and then raised the bar in a lot of respects for the sequel. So, as a serious fan of this franchise, I'm stoked to say that the final chapter not only meets the standards set by its predecessors, but it surpasses that standard in a lot of areas. The first of those areas is emotion, because goddamn did this movie trap me in a tear duct draining gridlock for most of its extended finale. Few animated films achieve the sense of perfectly rounded finality that The Hidden World absolutely nails, and the control and patience with which it delivers each of its final swings should be enough to have you working your way through a tissue box or two. This is all thanks to the beauty of the relationship between Hiccup and his dragon Toothless. Over the past two films, these two characters have been through a lot together, and this third entry really capitalizes on the toll the journey has had on them, and then preys on the narrative gaps left to fill. The drama in this movie is really complex and nuanced, and the way it explores ideas of the struggles of parenthood and the inevitability of letting go of everything in life sooner or later, it hits like a sledgehammer. It's all sold so perfectly thanks to what is probably the most outstanding animation we've seen out of Dreamworks so far. After about 15 minutes, the idea that I was even watching an animated film had just fallen away, and I was seeing real people and real dragons in a real world. That's not to say that any of it looks realistic as such, but there's something about the detail and design that makes it all feel so tangible, and that's why it ends up feeling so intimate. The Hidden World is also shot better than pretty much any blockbuster coming out of Hollywood right now. The involvement of legendary cinematographer Roger Deakins in this series continues to give these films a sense of beauty and weight that you just don't find in other animated movies. The flying sequences continue to dazzle, of course, but it's the action here that really impresses. Honestly, pay attention to the way this film creatively sidesteps the fact that these characters are killing each other in a kid's movie. It's actually kind of brilliant. John Powell's music is once again utterly fantastic as he builds on themes and motifs from the previous films to powerful effect, and it really is quite flooring, particularly in The Hidden World's second half. Now, despite how much I totally adore this movie overall and its finale being what has really stuck with me, I do have a number of issues with the film's script throughout the first half. See, the Dragon movies are perhaps the most mature in the animated movies for kids pile, and because of that, there's always been somewhat of a disconnect when you have this blunt explanatory exposition and clunky childlike humour stacked against these rather complex and nuanced stories, and that disconnect has never been more apparent than in The Hidden World, when all the characters are now fully fledged adults. The supporting characters no longer have much in the way of arcs here, and while they're fun enough, I do think that they are kind of relegated to being punching bags and joke dispensers, and I don't know if much of that stuff is going to land for older audience members. That kind of stuff could be a pretty huge mark against this film, but The hidden world is so sincere and emotionally pointed that it makes it really easy to forgive it whenever it has to pander to the younger audience's needs. If this really is the finale, and in a bittersweet way, I kind of hope that it is, The Hidden World is a near perfect goodbye to one of animation's greatest friendships. Sure, there's some hiccups along the way, but this is the grand ending that How to Train Your Dragon deserves, and it's an ending that cements this franchise as one of animation's finest. So those are my thoughts on How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. Have you seen it yet? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you like this video? Well, of course you did. You can subscribe to Breaking Banter down there somewhere, as well as my new channel Loverboy Media over there somewhere. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Loverboy Media, on Instagram at Breaking Banter. And if you do feel like supporting this channel on Patreon, feel free to do that. Thank you so much to anyone who's supporting us on there already. We've just released a bunch of cool new rewards as I have crossed over both channels on one Patreon. So a bunch of exciting stuff going on there. A bunch of exciting stuff coming in 2019. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.